Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the GLD, and the UUP. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames, and we use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So today let's jump right into the daily SPY, and 60 million on the day, another light float. We gapped up on mergers and acquisitions, upgrades galore, and the market is great again, so why not, open up with a rally? So, but during the day, you notice that, I'm still on no volume. Let's look at intraday action. We hit the high, we gapped up here, went right into the 618, kind of followed, retrace inside bar. We talked about that on an intraday basis, and it did pull back into the lunchtime hour or so. And then right at 12:30, we started the float, and then we started floating up. 60-minute chart. Let's look at that real quick. We are above the 200 moving average, but no confirmation. We do have a little bit of a topping tail here. We're still inside this bar, choppy, sloppy pattern, and we'll be keeping an eye on this. Let's see here. We'll just keep an eye on, if we're above this, if we stay above this tomorrow, if we gap below. Every time we get above this, they seem to bring it right back down, but the light volume can prevail, and that's what you have to keep an eye on at this point. And also we captured the 20 MA on the daily chart, went to the 618 from this high pivot to that low pivot, still inside this bar, underneath this trend line. Let's see how this goes in the next couple days or in the next week, and we'll see what happens on the weekly chart close. So on the weekly, did we get above the, yep, we're back above the 20 MA. That's one of their goals, but we're inside this bar, inside that bar. So we're an inside bar bearish pattern and an inside bar bearish pattern. Let's see if we can get above this trend line. We are back below this big trend line, but we've been there for a couple weeks, but they did actually gap it up over the 20 MA, which was resistance, and that's one of their goals, just, to keep these markets going. As long as they could gap it up over that, let's see, we're in the 618, maybe get to the 750 on the top of this bar, and we'll see how this market reacts. But again, light volume, you got to keep an eye on that. On the IWM, it was up, what was it up today? 77 cents, nothing big. Still below the MA. See how it touched the 20, almost got to the 50, pulled right back. This is still a bearish pattern on the daily, but now we're still, or I should say still, we're below these MAs, and the big pivot will be the 120 area. We'll see if we can get below that. But also, let's see here. There's this trend line here. We did get above it. Let's click on that. Hold on. Let's extend that one. Let's make sure that's in there. Hold on. Yeah, so we're right about there. So they did get it above that. See how we were below it, almost closed. They popped it right on the line. They gapped it up today right into resistance. It pulled back. We filled. Was there a gap? Nope, the gap was filled. So really it was the 20 and the 50 MA holding this thing down today. The weekly chart, same thing, inside bar, till we close above this high, 125.95. I think we still have a good chance of going down. Technically, we are in a strong stance, bullish, but inside this bar, you still got to get above the 125 area, then ultimately the 126 area as well. But not bad, but we're chopping around. This thing should be going. We had a nice float up, and now we're having some turbulence here. I'm expecting some more downside. That's me and my opinion. Qs. So on the Qs, let's put that down a little bit. So on the Qs, same thing. Daily chart, it was up $1.42. A little stronger on this one. We did get above the pivot high and actually made a new all-time high or 52-week high today. And that was at, let's see, 52-week high, 48. So, yep, we did make a new all-time high today. Let's see if we can confirm and keep this thing going. 120 is the area. If we can actually get above 120 and get some conviction volume, get this thing pushing up, I'll actually, well, you know what? I won't believe it. I think they're getting people sucking them in, get the rally going. Then if Google and Amazon have good earnings, get this thing going, and all of a sudden it's going to make a rounded top, and the next thing you know, it's going to be freaking bombing again. That's what they're doing, guys. They're getting everybody in. Again, the IWM still lagging, as well as the Dow Jones transports as well. If those aren't leading, these markets aren't going up. So we'll wait on a weekly basis. Let's see if we can close above the high, which was right around 119.49. So if we could get above that on a weekly close, then I want to see more volume, like I said, and some conviction. and this thing pushing up and get some confirmation up there, and then we'll see where these markets are going. But the Dow still weak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks sideways. We're still below the 20 MA, still chopping around. This one's setting up definitely for lower prices. Let's get to the daily. Q's is the only one that's strong, which, you know, you got everything, you got all the earnings coming up, so you got all these upgrades. It's out of control. Again, inside bar, we're below the 50. We did pop above the 20, so they're still trying to hold this thing up again. No volume. Keep an eye on that. Easy to take this thing up when there's nothing out there. And that's why when none of these indexes have volume, that's when you get moves on Amazon and Google, and Netflix was moving. You got Baidu moving. You got Chipotle up and down. Tesla going all over the place. You had oil down in the day, up at the end of the day, or almost positive. It was just a bizarro day. And then you had the IBB that was weak, but you had to get all the Googles and Amazon strong, or the IBB would drag down the Qs. It's just a sham, these markets, let me tell you. And we're right in a 7.5-year bull run, and just be careful, in my opinion. Again, it's chopping around, bearish pattern. I think it's setting up for lower prices, the Dow, the SPY. The Qs are still a little bit strong, but I still hard to believe what that thing's doing. And it's just on hype and ER. And if they have good ER reports, oh my gosh, we might actually get a blow off top, which I would love to see. All right, IYT. IYT gets to the 8,000 mark, or the Dow Jones Transports get to the 8. And it just can't do it on a daily basis too. Look at this thing. It pushes up. We hit a little bit of turbulence or overhead resistance, comes right back in, closes below the 20, and it still can't get going. Why? You know, another lagging indicator, and this thing needs to start leading the way. Until it does, you know, here's your highs. This thing should be well above the highs and just ripping if everything was that good, but it isn't. You have a great bullish pattern. It's trying to break out, still gets above into the 145.63 area and just can't do it. Gets to the 750 retrace, boom, boom, boom. Eventually, it's going to take the path of least resistance because it can't get through, and least resistance is going to be down. I think we're going to go right into this trend line, then we're going to fill this, and then so on and so forth. But one step at a time. This is a weekly chart. Let's see where it closes on a weekly basis. Let's get into the USO. USO again, you know, more shaking and baking, news, upgrades, RBC, this guy, ABC. Oh, oil's going to 70 now. We promise you. You know, other than this little breakout, we would have had a nice bullish or bearish inside bar pattern, but this one kind of ruined it, but we're still going sideways. It did dip down into this line, which is 382 and the 20 MA. That's why we bounced back up with some support. Gap fill would be right about here. So we'll see if this thing can hold up in the next couple days, or if it will go down. Maybe there's some more. Maybe there's more Fed chatter, you know, more lip service from those frickin' clowns. It's starting to just get ridiculous, in my opinion, of course. So on the weekly basis, we never confirmed above the 50 and the 20. So let's see if we can get a bullish consolidation and get oil to go, or does it have a bullish consolidation and then it comes right back in? We still need more data. We're waiting on data on the weekly to see what's happening. But the daily, you know, you had a nice bounce off the 382 and the 20 MA. That was saving us. So if we continue sideways, eventually I think we'll go down. If not, it's got to get above this 1179, and I think we're going to 12. So right now we're kind of a 50-50 shot to go up or down. So let's just see what pattern builds up, and we'll take it from there. But the UUP now, UUP still moving up a little bit. Nothing crazy. We had a little bit of a bullish pattern here, popped up, got above the 25.49 area, pulled right back, which at 25.49's gap fill. Next level is going to be right around 25.57. Then you have a trend line, and then you have some more resistance coming here about 25.87. So let's see if this one continues up. If this does, I think gold can come down a little bit more, and I think oil will come down a little bit more eventually. Right now, they're just kind of shucking and jiving it and making it go whatever direction. We still have a pretty good move up on the weekly, 3 bars up. Let's see if we could get a little more into this area, or possibly get above that trend line up here and possibly go after the 25.87 area. But with the UUP going up, gold should be going down. And gold, you know, it was down a little bit today, nothing serious, but they tried to make a break the other day, came back in, made another break, came back in, pushed it again, came back in. So again, still bullish or bearish consolidation. You have the 20 MA curling down. Let's see if they could gap it above the resistance here and keep it going, or does the 20 MA push it down and get back to the lows down in here, 118.46. I still believe we're going to 115.71 gap fill, and then 112.40 right in this area, 35. Then you have another gap here right around 109.17. This pattern here is telling me that it's bearish and it could possibly be setting up for lower prices, as well as the weekly too. I mean, weekly inside bar, nice consolidation. Let's see if this 200 will take this thing down. I'd love to see the 115, 116, but ultimately the 112.40, that's what I'm really waiting for. If we get into 113 right into this area, I'll probably start adding some gold. But I want to make sure I have enough to add to 1240, then ultimately around 109, 110 too, you know, in this area too, 107.51 if this pattern played out. So, you know, you got to take your time with this, guys. Add slowly. Markets like this, they go up and down and all around. You got to know your share size. You got to know what type of position or what size position you're going in. You can't just go all in on a trade and, okay, I'm in. And then that's how you always get screwed. But you want to put a good enough, you know, share size out there to, you know, if something pulls back, you want to make some money, but don't get crazy. You got to expect this thing to move up, at least if you got, you know, not this one so much, but, you know, excuse me. Just be careful in these markets, guys. You know, you got stocks all over the place. Don't get sucked in on the hype and, oh, Amazon's going up and all that stuff. Just put a trade out there like DPZ. We went short. It keeps going up, and you know what? We're gonna keep adding. You know, we started slow. We knew it was going on earnings, so we knew what was up with that. So it's slowly going up still. And this is, I'm getting off the track on this one, but come on, Daily. See how it's just slowly grinding up? I see how the volume's disappearing. It's almost at the end of the road. They upgraded it. They did this. So you got to add. So on earnings, we added a little more, and I believe we added a little more today. You know, so we went 3 times. If you're doing 1,000 shares, you might go 200, 200, 200, maybe 200 and 200. I'm not going to put a position half on and then go another half, and then knowing that, you know, this thing could scream up. That's what they're doing. Look at Netties, or look at Nvda. You know, this one, they just keep going. I mean, this is ridiculous. So if you didn't go small and steady, you're pretty much done. You know, and I'm underwater on my swing trade on this one, but that's okay because I've been racking up a lot of winners. But yeah, I mean, we were adding down here around 50 bucks, and then it went up 55, 60, 65, you know, stuff like that. But we knew this one was Nvidia. The hype was on. We had to go small. Like I said, if you're doing 1,000 shares, this one I would, you know, go 150, 150, 150, 150, and then if it gets to a certain maybe 70, 75, then load the boat, you know, load the rest of the 1,000 shares. But you got to go slow. This one will pull back, people. I promise you. Just a matter of time. Got to be patient on this one. All right, guys. That's going to be it for today. It's 6:30 here in Arizona. And again, I appreciate everyone watching my videos. I hope I'm helping some people out there with these charts and giving you plays. Just be patient in these markets, guys. They're floating up on 60 million, you know, volume on the SPY, light volume on the Qs. So these markets are kind of doing whatever they want. They upgrade these things. They start shooting up. The small retail traders going nuts right now. Getting into Nvidia, getting into Google, getting into Amazon, getting into Netflix, getting into Baidu. You know, all the big ones, Facebook, and oh my gosh, if this thing starts to correct, all those are going to fall like a freaking brick. That's why I'm saying get short with all those, but save enough for earnings. If they pop, you'll have to add more. If they drop, you'll already be in collecting the, you know, payday. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching my videos. Any questions or comments, stockbookie@gmail.com. But again, thanks for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.